Good afternoon, friends. Tracy here, Kansas Garden Guy, Summer Pig Farms. What is up? Well, it's a little kind of cloudy, windy, northeast Kansas State. So, Sunday. So, Sunday's video is a walkthrough video, and really not doing a whole lot on the farm on Sundays. I try to keep it more towards more kind of personal. My wife and I, we kind of do things together where it's outdoor projects that we want to get done, or going out sightseeing. This week we're not sightseeing this week, so we are staying home for the most part that I know. This freaking chickens crack me up. I have all these birds together, but look at this. Come here, I want to show you something. We took the middle fence down excuse me, last week, so that way we could try to incorporate all these birds together, just to see if they can play nice together. And look what's inside the new house. They are all hanging out in the new house. I don't understand what's going on. But, yes, I just kind of wanted to show you. The girls are doing good. Like I said, we took the center fence is now gone, so kind of let them run around here. All right, so that's how the girls are. They're just going to hang out, apparently, inside one chicken coop, all of them, like all 35 of them. So, hey, it is what it is. So, yep. So we got everything put in. I'll tell you what, if you guys, now they're all wanting to come out because they saw me. If you guys have ever used any type of chicken poultry netting, I cannot say anything bad about Premier One. So far, I have had great luck with them. And we also have Premier One's easy open gate system. They all connect together. You know, the gate, the poultry gate there, and the wire can connect together, and it gives you an easy spot here where you can just pull the handle up and pop the gate open and climb in. That way you don't have to keep unplugging the fence, crawling over it, taking a chance of hurting it or anything. But this gate system, yeah, it costs a little bit. I think the gate system was like, I don't know, I want to say it was below $100. But man, this is just the ease of deployment here, just for my wife to get in and out without having to discharge the charger and then stepping over the fence or trying to unbuckle the fence with Velcro. It's a nightmare. This is so much easier. I would highly recommend, if you guys do chickens in poultry netting, highly recommend to get one of those gates. And the reason why, if you guys are wondering, we do live out in the country. If you're wondering why I just don't let them free range, they are, for the most part, free ranged in a huge paddock. We have a lot of wild dogs and cats out here, plus coyotes are crazy. My neighbor free ranges his birds. He's down to, I think, 40 or 50. He said that he loses about 1 or 2 birds a week from coyotes in the middle of the day. They sneak up the fence line and they grab the birds out of the yard where he can't see them. And so I didn't want these birds getting killed like that. And plus this electrified netting keeps them in, but it also keeps the critters out, like the neighbor's dogs that I can't seem to control. Feral cats, coyotes, skunks, anything like that. It puts out just enough voltage on that big solar charger to put a zap on. I've touched that thing on accident 3 or 4 times, and it will let you know it's there. So, yeah, it works pretty good. We are in the front now. Pop-Pop's pumpkin patch here. Pumpkins are looking really good. Like I said, first year growing pumpkins, but man, they are looking great. I mean, look at these guys. These are the Champion F1 hybrid variety. I guess they look okay. Like I said, I don't grow a lot of pumpkins, so in that turn, I'm not 100% sure what they're supposed to look like at this stage. They've been in the ground for probably, I don't know, middle June, so it's almost August, so a month and a half or so. But they are getting some good size on them, to be honest. We've lost 3 or 4 of these bigger ones just because of disease. Since it's a squash, if it gets any type of disease, I get rid of it. There's no sense in keeping it around. But yeah, see? We've got some pretty decent ones. And these jack-o'-lantern varieties are supposed to be 30 pounds plus. So, yeah, pretty cool. And you guys have seen the white ones there. If not, I'll show you. I think those are like something like that. I'm not sure. Start with a C. They only get to like a half pound to a pound, so they're just like those little ones. My wife wanted something cool to hang, you know, like put on your, I don't know, like decorations. That would be them. So pop-up scumper patch is looking good. This is the third and final succession planting of squash and zucchini here. We put those in last week, and that will be all. Hopefully we get another good month of squash and zucchini out of it. The first succession, not so much. Second succession, we slaughtered it. The second succession of squash and zucchini is right here. I think there's literally like 50 plants here. You guys can see those. We've lost a few here through disease, and I tend to get rid of those pretty quick. But yeah, we picked a week and a half ago when we did our last order, 230 pounds of squash and zucchini went out to our customer. 230 pounds off of this little patch right here. Killing it with this squash and zucchini. I mean, I know, you know, squash and zucchini for the most part grows a lot, but you still do have to have some type of care in it, have to have some type of good soil to get those numbers. And so far, you know, this stuff has been amazing. They look really good. We've got a lot of young fruit popping up, so we're going to give those another day or 2 days before we pull those. We like to pull the zucchini just a little bit bigger than you see. Right now, the store, you get those little ones that are like, I don't even know what that squash and zucchini is that they're pulling. It's not even, it's so young, and it's half of it's just, I don't know. It's that kind of stuff just bothers me when the store lets that kind of produce sell. But anyway, I guess it is what it is. So, but yeah, so hopefully we get one more. We got another week and a half before we have to get another order out for them. So hopefully in that week and a half, we get another. I've probably got about 50 pounds downstairs. We need another 230 pounds. So we'll probably need like another $1.75 out of them. And I think we're going to get it. We may get it. We may not. You know, the good thing about working with this customer is they give me what they want as an order. I let them know exactly what I fulfilled. And then they make up the rest with other places. So let's start here. If you guys remember, this is what you saw in the last video, is that little tool shed kind of thing. And this is kind of the idea of what I had in mind, where I could hang up here the tools that I use on a daily basis here, or at least a weekly basis here on the farm. You know, it's nothing hardcore. You're just looking at a shovel, yard rake. About the only thing that is different is like a shuffle hoe and a like some type of cultivator. Like this one here you may be familiar with. It's called a single tine cultivator. And all this does is you can rake it through the soil and it just kind of pulls the weeds up. That's pretty much all that's for. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. Wife and I did get all the water lines ran yesterday. We didn't get those buried. I'll explain that here after a bit. But we've got the water hose ran out here so we can get to the zucchini and squash. Got a place for the ladder. And then we also ran the water lines that come from the house and go out to the tunnels are now all up here, marked, tightened, and fastened to the board here. That way, if someone was to come here and needed to get to the water really quick, you could shut the valves off. Like this valve here will shut off to the tunnel. Be pretty quick, shut all the tunnels off in case there was any type of reason. Then you're only left from the house. I like to split things halfway. That way we've got a valve there at the house. We've got a valve here, so that way you can kind of start in the middle and work your way out towards the edges on if you have any type of problems. But yeah, so that's going to work out awesome. Plus it looks good from the road. It kind of looks like I know what I'm doing, but even though I don't. Here in the family tunnel, we're getting to the end of our pickling cucumbers here. We've harvested probably 20 or 30 good pickling cucumbers. We've probably got another week or 2 weeks left on this. We've got a lot of good growth. Things are looking good. You can see the pickles. We've got pickles loaded up on here, and these are Excelsior. Actually tried to find the Excelsior cucumbers, and they found out they were pickling cucumbers. Well, I'm not too proud to admit it. I did make a mistake. I kept telling you those cucumbers up in the tunnel were called Excelsior. They are not called Excelsior. The Excelsior cucumbers I bought are pickling cucumbers. So correct me. Excelsior are pickling cucumbers. The Nokia are the long English type, but they're Japanese version. The other ones that I had that were about 6 to 8 inches long, those are Katrinas. So I'm sorry. I apologize to anybody that kind of mistook what I said. I made a mistake. I told you guys the wrong variety, so I'm here to correct it. Thank you for catching my mistake. That way we all can learn from things, and that's exactly what I want the comment section on my channel to be, is where we can all learn from each other and help each other out. So thank you so much for correcting me on that. And yeah, hopefully I hear from you guys like that in the future. I kind of dug that. Kind of made me smile. But jalapenos in here, of course, we've got these rows of jalapenos in here for just us, because we're not growing jalapenos. We're not doing markets this year, so we don't need all these jalapenos. I didn't want to throw them away. You guys have heard me talk about that before. So we put the rest of them in there, and some in tunnel number 1. And so that's what's going on in here. We've got water now plumbed in here with just a 2-way valve, because this tunnel's not very big. So I just put a 2-way valve in here in case we did some drip irrigation. I had an open port to run it, but that way we have a hose here in the corner. So now we don't have to carry water in with buckets to water this stuff now. You know, that was a propagation tunnel, and I did have a hose running there full time. But now we kind of mix things up a little. I'm trying to make this look a little professional. We've got a farm tour coming through here in October, so I just want to make sure everything looks kind of professional. And this tunnel right here is the ticket. This is tunnel number 1. Determinate tomato tunnel, and then some other varieties of tomatoes. But check this out, guys. Look at this tunnel. Look at these determinate tomatoes. These are now, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day with my cowboy boots. But look at this. They are probably 6 foot tall. These are determinate tomatoes. Good gravy. Look at these tomatoes. I mean, we've got some good clusters starting to pop up here. You guys see that? We've got a lot of smaller clusters that have not turned. Look at this one. This one here, we're going to go ahead and pick. It's got a little bad spot on it, but it's starting to blush, so we'll let that ripen, and then we could eat that. We'll cut that away. It's not something I want to sell our customers. It's not good enough. So that will be something we will. All right, girls. That will be something that we will grow for ourselves or eat for ourselves. Okay, you guys. Hey, go that way. There we go. Good Lord. And see, I would tie these back up, but I can't. I'm out of fence post. Look, I'm at the top of my fence post now. You know, these are, you know, almost 6 foot fence posts that we've put in the ground. They're standing about 5.5 feet tall, and they are way past the fence post now. So they're almost to the top of the trellising, which is crazy. Indeterminate tomatoes, you guys can see those. Like the Cherokee purples here. They're looking really good. We've got Brandywine and German Johnson. You guys have heard me talk about that. Nothing has changed. Same concept here. We've got the Land of the Lost Toys down here. So we've got the same thing. We've got 2 rows of heirlooms and then a row of the Nokia cucumbers. You guys can see that I came through this week and worked on this tunnel. And we did some lower and lean technique here. Plus we also took care of all of the foliage on the ground there. See how nice and neat that is? So now the airflow can come through here and keep your cucumbers and tomatoes clean and happy. And that's exactly what they want. Tomatoes and cucumbers do not like to have wet feet. So the only thing you can do here is to help them by causing a lot of airflow. You can see the leaves are moving because we've got a good probably 10-mile-an-hour wind outside. And that's what's keeping these stems super dry and super clean. Same with the tomatoes. You can see there how everything's nice and clean. The clusters are hanging nice and evenly. This is exactly what the lower and lean technique should look like in your tunnels. So all you see is just the clusters of fruit hanging. And you can do that with cucumbers, tomatoes, anything like that that indeterminately grows. You can kind of do that with bush tomatoes, but they're not going to lower and lean because they're not going to get that super tall to be able to lower and lean because it's a bush tomato. It's going to bush out. We got what's left of our ginger here that I'm experimenting, just growing. Never grown ginger before, so don't judge me. Bell peppers. That's a good sized bell pepper there. Look at that one. That's a big old girl. Yeah, so I have come in through here and I will spray for aphids. A little bit of neem oil, some BT or pyrethrin or something like that. Organic. It is what it is. If you don't like spraying, that's fine. I understand. Don't spray. We are a working farm here that actually has to make money on everything we sell or we lose money. So in order to do that, we have to spray. We don't spray all the time. I only spray when I see particular damage. If we get a lot of aphids, aphids are one of those bugs that you do not want to get out of control, especially in a high tunnel situation. They love wet. They love humidity, high humid areas. High tunnels get very high in humidity and heat. They spread like gangbusters. The last thing you want to do is get a aphid infestation in your tunnel. It will desecrate all your crops and you will lose thousands and thousands of dollars over some aphids because you did not want to spray. Sometimes you have to. We are in tunnel number 2, which is the cherry tomato tunnel. Things are still looking good. Got to come in here this week, do a little lower and leaning, but we still got a lot of buds going on, a lot of fruit hanging that has not turned. We have come through here and picked fruit last night. That's why you don't see anything red. All that's left is this stuff that has not turned yet. So we will come through here and pick it again in the middle of the week here in a couple days. Everything looks amazing in here. You know, like I said, they're getting to the top now, so we're going to have to go through this week. I'm going to have to go through and cut all of the little tomato pods off the bottom there, whatever you want to call it, the vines that we picked from. That way the tomato does not try to put all of its energy into keeping those things going when it doesn't need to because there's no fruit there. So we'll clean those up this week, and then we'll come over here to the cucumber tunnel. I think I've got a, what do I have? 180-pound cucumber order in 2.5 weeks. So I think we've got 40 pounds picked right now. But these guys are looking great. I mean, these are the Katrinas. You guys see those? They're looking great. Everything's looking good in here. I've got some damage in here. As you can see, it's that time of year. You know, your lower leaves here, I'll go through and I'll pull these leaves off this week when I do lower and leaning. They're starting to get to the top, so I'm going to have to do some more lower and leaning. I think we are about out of cucumber season here for us. We're getting close. This humidity is getting on the leaves, and of course, without a lot of airflow or a lot of breezes, they stay wet. When they stay wet, they get diseased. And that's a no-bueno. Last thing you want in your cucumber house or tomato house is disease, because it seems like when one kid gets sick, they all get sick. So you have to stay on top of that stuff very diligently to control it. And if you see one plant that's sick, you need to pull that plant out and get it out of here because it will spread to the other ones. Losing one plant is heartbreaking, but it's better than losing 100. Or in this house, there's 200 cucumber plants in this house. I hate for one bad plant to spread to the other ones, the healthy ones, and then take that over, because we need cucumbers like this in our life, don't we? Doesn't everybody need a cucumber like that in their life? Yeah. Or maybe what's better than one cucumber like that? Maybe 2 cucumbers like that in their life, you know? So that's just my motto. That's the motto I'm going to run on this year's. Why not have 2 cucumbers in your life, right? We'll put the hose right here, man. Yeah. It'll work. At least that way I can get the hose off the ground anyway. At least it doesn't look like a mess. There we go. Okay, the last thing we need to talk about today is this area right here. You can see it's still tarped. If you guys remember my last video, we talked about this weekend we were going to get a bobcat and a trenching unit set up for it so I can trench my water lines in and also get this taken care of. Well, a couple days ago when we were supposed to get those pieces of equipment, the guy that we were borrowing those pieces of equipment for decided that he no longer wanted us to borrow that piece of equipment. Have no reason why. He just said he didn't have time to loan it to me this time, and maybe he'll let me borrow it some other time. Well, that kind of screwed us because I was really hoping on getting this finished, leveled out there, and get this tunnel up. We've got a whole nother high tunnel laying on pallets that cost us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that is not making us any money because I cannot get this leveled out to get this tunnel put up. Hopefully sometime soon I can get some money saved up so I can go rent a skid loader so I can get this taken care of, because apparently I've exhausted all my other aspects of getting this done. So I wish I knew somebody that had one that would let me borrow one for a half a day so I could fix this, but it is what it is. But anyway, I pulled this tarp up to make sure everything looked good underneath, and I just drug this tarp. Can you see this right here? See the difference in the color? That is what occultation will do for you. This tarp sat on this brown shaded out area for about 7 or 8 hours while I was waiting for my wife to get home from work so she could help me put this tarp back in, because the wind started to pick up, and trying to lay that out by yourself is crazy. So I waited for her to come back, and it was about 6:30, 7 o'clock we came out here to put that on, and that, look at that, that is exactly what occultation does. It will kill the grass, and then you can get a good, perfect bed started to do your no-till system. So I'll get this taken care of. Hopefully, I was hoping to have it done by the 1st of September so I could get lettuce starts in there, because we are going to be behind. So I hate to say it, but what I may have to do is I may have to pull the tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and all the cucumbers out of those 2 tunnels, dispose of them, so I can get my lettuce in there, because lettuce is our money maker. We make almost double the money on lettuce and salad mix as we do on tomatoes per poundage. So it makes more sense to get rid of the tomatoes and get onto the salad mix. I know. Just stay with me, guys. Like I said, once again, we've talked about this a lot. It's a business, so you've got to do what's right for your business. But this is where today's video is going to stop. I'm going to go back inside because it's starting to get sunny now and it's getting hot. And the humidity is probably 1,000,000% right now. So I'm going to go inside, grab me a glass of some iced tea, and then I will talk to you guys later on in the week. See ya.